Welcome to another episode of Me, My Old Man in a Movie. I'm your host, Gannon May, and this is my old man, Ryan. We're here to update you on the most recent theatrical news and provide you with a few movie reviews. So grab some popcorn and join us as we discuss the latest and hopefully greatest Hollywood cast off. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Me, My Old Man in a Movie, and today we're going to be discussing the movie Alien Romulus. So here's a brief description of the film. Space colonizers come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe while scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station. This was pretty good. This is a really good movie.
This was good. All right, where do you want to go? I was so hopeful, and we're going to talk at the end. We watched the first two, Alien and Aliens.
Yeah, we didn't watch any of the others like Prometheus or Alien Covenant or any of those, and we liked it. So you don't have to watch all of those. You don't even have to watch. It wouldn't even say Aliens.
I think you definitely need to see one of them.
Yeah, you need to see the first one
because the what do they call it? The artificial person. Mm-hmm. Like, there's just things about this, and you'll kind of get it as you go along. But there's pieces of this that it ties back into the original, and you just kind of need to understand some things. Yeah, going into it.
But I don't think you need to watch the second one if you don't want to watch the second.
Yeah, no, I will say I think it's important because I think there's so many parallels to the second one and this one in
there were
terms
some references
of and not even just references. Like, to me, it's like they were very similar. I felt like the director in this one really pulled from that style a lot more than the first one, though the first one too. I'm gonna just off the bat say this was one of the best sci-fi action movies I've ever seen. Ever. And maybe I'm biased a little bit because I just watched the first two, and growing up in the 80s I never watched those, and I knew what Alien was, but I'd never watched the movies, and so I had this deep appreciation watching the first two. But they, as opposed to Twisters, I'm going to say this, as opposed to Twisters, which we watched a couple weeks ago, where I was disappointed in how they carried the story forward, in this one I felt like they just nailed it. Yeah. Nailed it.
This is really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it had a good pace. I mean, it was just...
It flew.
Yeah. I mean, it
was a 2-hour movie, but for me, it flew.
Yeah, it didn't feel like 2 hours. Pushing near the end, it felt a bit more longer, but I never felt like it was like, oh, when is this going to be over? Yeah. Like it kept you engaged for sure, and it was really good.
It had one of those like they all do, and a lot of stories do, of like another turn, turn, another turn.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. But not overkill, not too much to me.
Yeah, yeah, not like Trap.
No, right.
Like Trap overkill.
This was, I loved this, and it's so weird because it's not really a genre that I would love, but I was just so impressed. I was so impressed. All right, I'm gonna give the story
and plot
9. Plot
9. I give it a 9.
Face huggers.
Face huggers. Yeah, face huggers.
Okay. All right, acting.
And characters.
Characters, yes.
I thought that the British guy in the film acted just like Bill Paxton's character from the second movie.
Yeah, see, so there's a reference. Yes. Yeah.
And he was really funny. And I thought the AI in this one, was really interesting how the guy played this one. It felt different than the other ones.
Yeah.
He felt more like a robot in this one than a real person, because the other ones, they didn't feel like they were as much, they felt too real almost in the other ones.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the time period, like the 80s. I wonder if they were they didn't have the depth. I know it's weird. You would think you want them to be more human, but I think it was probably just not as good acting. They just acted like themselves and didn't take into consideration that they were robots.
Yeah.
Whereas, I feel like this guy really tapped into, there was something different about him. I honestly thought at first he was autistic, that he kind of was giving off this vibe of but as you went on, you realized he was, and it's not a spoiler. Like he pretty early on, you
Mhm.
realize he's I keep wanting to say droid, but like an artificial person, a synthetic is what they called him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I thought his acting was phenomenal. I
Yeah.
thought he like did the part
Yeah.
beautifully.
Oh, yeah. Really good.
Yeah.
And there were none of the characters that I like didn't like. I liked all the characters.
Yep.
I feel like you could connect with the characters. And what something you were saying is, I hope they make good characters that I can actually care about.
Yes.
I feel like they did a good job of doing that.
I wrote that down because that's important to me. You know, that's what I felt like was missing for some of the films that we've watched. You got to have buy-in. You've got to connect with them. And no, I said that. Felt good early connection, and the others too as it went on. I really felt connected to them. I thought it was interesting that after watching Twisters, and I was complaining that they were all 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes of this movie, 20-year-olds are flying this ship out into space.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here we go again. But again, there was just something different about it. I can't put my finger on it. I couldn't say this was that. But, you know, maybe it's a futuristic film, so people more advanced at 20 in the future. But I bought into it.
Yeah. I give it a 10.
I gave it an 8. And this is, I don't know why.
What?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just... yeah, I started at a 9, dropped it down to an 8. It's fine. I think it's 9. I'll change it. 9 face huggers. All right, direction.
Oh my gosh. Fede Alvarez, the director of this film. This was so good.
Yeah.
Some of these shots
Yeah.
were just awesome. This was probably one of the, this was really, really well directed.
I'm excited to see what he comes up with next. Like I've got him on my map now as far as like watching for where he goes next with things. I thought some of the that ship flying around the base
when it on the rings.
On the rings, I mean he did such a good job, and I felt like even at the beginning, I was looking for the subtleties of would he pay homage to the originals, and it felt like
the original intro.
Yeah, the original intro for sure. The whole film kind of had, I don't want to say the pace because the first one was really slow and the second one was in the 80s and it was still kind of slow, but like this, it fit with the what do they call that? The intellectual property, the IP. Like it just really fit well.
Yeah, some of the shots like with the facehuggers jumping around, going all over the place, jumping on people. Like I just thought that was so good.
The tunnels, the use of lights in the corridors. Like there was just a lot of just really neat director like decisions I felt in this. So I gave it a 10.
I gave it a 10.
10 face huggers. All right, writing.
Let's see. None of the lines felt cringy. There were no cringy lines. I thought all the lines were well written. I have a couple spoilers in the writing, so I'm not going to say those. Yeah, a lot of the writing is really spoilers. There's a lot of spoilers, I guess, in this film, right? Yeah,
this was a great script. I think we could have talked about part of it in the story and plot too, but like the way the plot of this film, I don't know if they brought I don't know the history of this, if this was brought to a studio, if this was commissioned or what, but like, he had the pulse of the alien, like the history of the story, but like the way he took this in a new direction, the way he tied it back into the old stuff, the twists along the way, the ending. Oh my gosh. Well done. Like I just thought it was a beautiful write. Just a beautiful write. The way he pulled in some of the old stuff, it was just brilliant. It was just 10. I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna not say anything.
Oh no, I give it a 9. I give it a 9.
Oh, this guy complained about my acting, characters at 8. Look at this. This was perfect writing. Okay, cinematography, special effects.
The planet, the rings.
Yes, all the same.
When the ship was rising at the end, or at the very beginning through the lightning.
Yeah. Coming off the planet.
Yeah.
And then at the I just can't. Like, I want to see it again. Like, I just want to. Yeah. It was beautiful. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, the way the rings, the particles from the rings went off the ship.
Yeah, it was just. I was like, oh, that looks phenomenal. You gotta see this. Yeah, so I'm giving that a 10.
I gave that a 10. Music and sound. I loved when they're walking through this one tunnel and the lights are turning on. There's like a heartbeat noise, but it's not like a normal heartbeat. They're doing like they're taking almost like a heartbeat, and they're like playing with the speed of the heartbeat, and it just like almost like a drum, and it just like it was really intense.
Yeah,
It was really suspenseful.
Yeah.
Throughout that, and a lot of the sound music was good.
I thought they had a good use of silence.
Mm-hmm.
They would choose these at the beginning,
Very
but
beginning
then throughout there would be these moments where it was just like nothing, and then
the whole theater would go quiet,
and then it would come in hard. You know, like the pacing of the music and the sound effects and all that. I could have used subtitles. I don't know.
Early on, I could.
Early on, I was going to ask you if you had any problems with that. Sometimes it's the theater you're in, right? So I didn't know if where we were sitting. We were kind of high up, and we were in the IMAX screen. So I don't know if some of that was just muffled because of that. I was like, is this just my hearings going out? Because that's happening too. But I didn't catch a lot of the early lines.
Yeah, me neither. It was tougher to hear.
Yeah. Even some of the puns, because like the synth does a lot of puns, and it's right on. So again, no spoiler here, but like I missed some of the early ones, and then the later ones I picked up. But I don't know if it was just I got used to it. Maybe we got used to it, but it was hard to hear at first. But 10 because I just thought it was a great use
10.
of all of it.
Wow. So my overall rating was a 9.7. I thought they had a cool logo intro too.
Yep, right from the 20th Century Fox.
Yeah,
I mean all of it, which was cool because that was it felt like a throwback. You know, you don't see that a lot. So I had 9.5, but I changed that one to a 9. I'm thinking I'm probably at a 9.7 as well. So actually, we are.
Actually, no, you're being 9.8 because I had.
No, I got 2 9s
okay,
here. We're at 9.7.
Right.
This is like one of the. This is. If you at all love this, John, if you love this genre, you got to see it. If you just remotely are like open to this, like you got to see this. You got to see. Like I'm like, I was gonna say pull my hair out, but I did. No, that's what happened. I pulled my hair out.
No, that's just old age.
Oh, but there were so many points, and I'm just like, get in with it. Oh, did you see that? That's gonna. I was just so caught up in this, and I wouldn't have went and saw this without this and without you. So thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Recommend.
Yeah.
Recommend. We're just on our way home. Sorry, the camera's even crooked. I don't know what's going on, but we're on our way home, and I'm thinking more about Alien Romulus, and that he makes all these references to the movie. This is kind of spoiler, I guess. I mean, is it spoiler though to say this?
Yeah, it's kind of a spoiler.
All right, so I don't know. There's a line at the end.
It's just one. It's just a line.
It's just a line. It's just a line.
It doesn't. I mean,
it's the line by. I won't even tell you who says it, but it's the line by Sigourney Weaver in 2. Get away from her, you. Beep. Right? Okay. This time, I gotta tell who says it. Well, I can't tell who says it. That'll really spoil it. The bottom line is, I gave a 10 to the writing. And I don't think it deserved a 10 just for that. Just for that. Okay? Why don't I think?
Yeah.
I think it was because, here's the thing. The alien in the original was like the queen bee. No pun intended. Bee. B word.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
No.
You get it? The queen bee.
Okay, yeah,
and it's
that.
a B word. The queen bee.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's a dad joke. So it makes sense to call her that. In this one, there's no indication that it's a girl, that it's a female alien. And more than likely it's not, because it's like one of the worker bees. There's that too. Anyway. So it goes down to a 9 for me, which drops it back down to a 9.5. I just had to say that, because I can't give it something it's not due. It was a little stretched when you heard it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It did feel a little bit stretched, but I'm not going to tell you guys who said it, so.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Go see the movie. Listen for the line. See if it makes sense to you. Comment below if it does or doesn't. All right.
This is
Spoilers?
the spoiler section. Click off.
Okay,
Okay.
it's good stuff here.
So, I liked the aliens hunt on body temperature and that you can't sweat and that you can't like get scared or else your blood temperature rises. And I was like, that's intense.
Yeah.
Like that's really
It was
cool.
believable too. Like I
Mhm.
felt like I was like, okay, I
And
can buy this.
The acid in midair as she's trying to climb around the acid. That was crazy.
That was incredible. And then she's like in this gravity lock thing. So you're like waiting. You
Yeah.
know it's going to happen, right?
Mhm.
They give you the hint. And you know this stuff's going to start coming down. And it's just, oh, it was so good. So good. So good.
Yeah.
What else?
Let's see. What else did I have? I love that. Oh, that they're willing to kill people off. This is what I said about Twisters. I love when they. Well, I don't love when they kill characters off, but I love when they are able to raise the stakes. They're not afraid to raise the stakes when they need to, and I feel like this film did it a lot.
Yeah.
Like they really did a good job with the stakes of this film.
There were a lot of callbacks, right?
Oh.
So I thought that line, "Run," that's in one of the first two movies. I remember that.
I didn't catch that one.
The synth says it. What's his name? Andy says it at one point. Again, that was a good use of silence.
When he's helping her with the gun,
helping her with the gun because they taught Sigourney Weaver's character how to use the gun. I had that.
Did you catch the cast names in the beginning of the film? They just popped up in plain white text, just like the original. They just one at a time, just kind of.
Yeah.
I was like, that was the exact same thing they used for the first one.
Their inability to shoot the guns, different reason. The other time it was going to explode because of whatever the thing. But this you couldn't do it because I don't even remember. But
wait, I'm trying to think of what it was.
Well, yeah, but and then pulling the girl off the wall, and the little girl, they pulled her off the wall. She was, like they were using somebody was already kind of encapsulated in the thing. There's always an explosion at the end. They're always leaving something, and something's exploding. Like that was a tie-in. They had the famous line. I'm not gonna say it, but he calls her the B word. The monster. Like so, there's like, they were definitely playing on the old stuff
for sure. Oh my gosh, the monster coming out of that alien coming out of that girl's chest.
Yeah.
Just like the bones cracking and the thing.
Yeah. And then the little thing comes out. And I was so excited.
Gory.
I was so excited to be like, okay, to see these graphics upgraded. These special effects upgraded from these 80s, and they just delivered on all of it. And then what in the world was that? Human,
that baby human guy at the end.
Human, monster. I mean, that thing was the nightmarishest thing I will probably ever see in my life. I'm gonna be thinking about. I'm like that topped off. Topped off.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the scariest third acts. Like that was one of the things that a lot of people had said was that was one of the scariest third acts of all time.
When she gets impregnated by, I was like that, and then she puts that shot in her. I was like, oh my gosh, what is about to happen?
Yeah.
And then that baby comes out, and you can see it. Oh gosh. Okay, all right.
It's so gory.
Yeah,
that part was so gory.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there we go. I mean, do you have anything else?
Mm-mm.
We were talking about. We saw the first two movies, and we had talked about doing like a separate thing for that. But we thought we'd just tag a little bit on that.
I like the second one better than the first one.
Definitely like the second one better than the first one. The first one was slow. I mean, look, 1979. I just thought it was interesting. We weren't even going to watch the second one, but when I found out that Ridley Scott directed the first and then James Cameron directed the second, I was like, well, I want to see how different these are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it only been 6-7 year difference in time, like from when one was directed and the other, but they were very different.
Mm-hmm.
I came upstairs and because Ma didn't watch it, and I said that was intense. Like that second one, I felt like not quite as much, but I felt like I did watching the second one as I did this.
Mm-hmm.
Just transport me 40 years back, right? But like, it was intense.
Yeah, it was very intense.
It was intense. I thought James Cameron did a good job. I thought it was interesting. This was just a little Easter egg thing with. It wasn't an Easter egg at the time. Maybe it was an Easter egg in maybe in Avatar. Maybe that. But the body machine, if you've seen Avatar, the machine that they kind of get into, and the soldiers kind of walk in those things where their arms and legs, and they're sitting inside it.
Yeah.
It's almost identical to the thing that Sigourney Weaver gets in at the end of 2. I'm like, James Cameron wrote this. Of course, like this is where he got the idea for Avatar is from doing, Aliens. So I
Yeah.
thought that was cool.
That was a cool Easter egg.
Yeah. Anyway, I can't brag on this movie enough. Again, not my favorite genre, but they nailed it. They nailed it.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you give us a like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and join us next time as we discuss the latest and hopefully greatest Hollywood has to offer.